지난번에도 슈팅 레인지 반응이 나쁘지 않았어요. 오늘도 슈팅 레인지 한번 봅시다. 자, 슈팅 레인지 374. 교양 있는 파일럿 전차장 함장 여러분들을 위한 필수 조건 프로그램 슈팅 레인지를 시청하고 계십니다. 이게 보니까 내용에 또 이번 업데이트하고요, 맵에 관련된 게 좀 있더라고요. 그래서 한번 봐봅시다. 자, 이번에 새로 나온 헬기죠.
If you ask someone not too familiar with aircraft to draw a helicopter, chances are they're going to give you a rounded fuselage with a long tail boom, a large rotor on top, and a small one in the rear. It might have something to do with the fact that this is
이번에
what the most
이탈리아였나? 동시에 세
mass-produced
개인가 나왔죠.
helicopter in
트리에 두
history
개,
looks
꿀장에
like.
한 개.
If we include all modifications, a total of 17,000 of these machines have been taking off to the skies to complete all kinds of missions across the world. Today's Metal Beast is a combat version of the legendary Soviet multi-role helicopter, the Mi-8. This aircraft has a classic layout, including a single main and a single tail rotor. The power plant consists of two
헬기 얘기하니까
turboshaft
이번에
engines.
그 샤를님에
Self-sealing
보면
fuel tanks are found in the
샤를님
upper
채널을
part of the
보니까
fuselage and on the sides of the cargo hold.
아파치하고
A large
K52
caliber machine gun is
이게
mounted in the
해놨어요.
nose, while the hard points are reserved for rockets, conventional bombs, and ATGMs.
거기 보니까
The
러시아의 뭐
Mi-8 can't really
전술
boast high
교리적인
combat
문제도 있겠지만
performance. It's
최종
primarily a
버전
transport
헬기에는
aircraft
A사 레이드도
after all.
달았더라고요. 전방에.
Still, the vehicle did set a few records in our game. First, this chopper has the largest main rotor in War Thunder, with a
비행기
diameter
칵핏 앞에
exceeding
레이드 달잖아요. 그런
21
식으로
meters.
달았다.
Second, it's the only helicopter capable of taking off with up to
그래서
2
헬기와
tons
비교하면
of
넘쳐요.
bombs or
K52가.
up to 192 rockets. Does it help this aircraft in battle? Well, not that much, to be real. Targeting moving vehicles with
역시나 뭐
bombs
어떤
using a
무장이든
helicopter with
어떻게
no
운용하는가가
ballistic
제일
computer
중요한 것 같아.
is a hefty task. It's more of a challenge than a real tactic. Using rockets is much simpler. Besides, the ammo pool is large enough to have a few ranging shots, or even volleys. Still, the Mi-8 isn't the best aircraft for this type of exercise.
헬기 조종하는 게
Its
힘들던데.
modest maneuverability doesn't help at ultra-low altitudes.
배틀필드에서는
And the
이제
large
헬기 잘
profile is
탔었는데
certain to attract just about every ground vehicle in the vicinity. Some of the enemies might ignore it owing to their respect for the legend, but most players would still fire at it. Basically, the only weapon the Mi-8 can use effectively is the anti-tank missiles. The Soviet version can carry up to 4 Falanga ATGMs, which have a decent range and a good speed for such a low battle rating. Don't expect to get a tank with each missile, but you can still score more than a single vehicle in a single fight. The German Mi-8 is armed with the Malyutka ATGMs. They have inferior performance, but come in larger numbers, up to 6 units.
유선 유도
Of course, the
미사일이네.
Mi-8 is far from a supercharged attack helicopter. On the other hand, though, its competitors can't boast anything impressive either. There's one thing we can't deny: its historical significance. We're happy that this legendary machine is now available to every War Thunder player.
자, 이번에 맵 이야기죠.
In our roadmap video, we've already told you about the
로드맵에서
changes we
맵
introduced into
그
many
불균형
ground maps.
고쳤잖아요.
Today, our squad mates will check out the
그중에
updated
노르망디
Normandy
보여주나
map and
봅니다.
demonstrate some new tactics. The reworked map became more symmetrical, so both
좀
teams
더
can use the
대칭적이게
hits
됐다.
we're going to share. Let's pick the Western team for this video. In Scenario 1, both squad mates should spawn on the northern point. Head towards the shore right away.
해안으로
Once you
달린다.
get to the intersection with the inner ring road, one of you should turn right and stop at the end of the street, before the main square. This place offers you a view of almost the entire area around Point B. The other player should move towards the monument and find a good position near it. If the enemy is already there, focus on them first. Control over the monument area is your main priority. Once that's done, all you need to do is to use crossfire to clear the town center and move to capture. The best camping position is around the corner of the church. It provides both shelter and firing lines at 2 approaches, one from the east, another one from the south where Point C is located. This is how just 2 players can control all roads leading to the map center. Still, capping one point is only half the business.
시가지로는 안
Point C
들어가봐서
is too
이렇게
far
하는지도
from the town
몰랐네.
center, so it would be easier to focus on the beach point instead.
자,
Swap positions. One player that sat next
저
to the
뭐냐
church
등대
can
쪽으로
move towards
달려가지고
the
자리
monument to
잡을
cover the
수도
second one,
있었잖아요.
while
아직도
they
되나
drive down
모르겠다.
to the beach and
등대로.
paint point A with their team's color. Well, we need to admit it's basically the same tactic, with the only difference being the
왼쪽
location
팀
of
보면
point
저
A.
왼쪽 위에 등대
The
있잖아요.
southern
저기.
part of the map, however, underwent much bigger changes, and now we'd like to show you an updated tactic for it. Both players should spawn on the southern point and split up, with one taking the bypass road to square G3 and another one following map line E. By enveloping point C, you reserve the ability to use crossfire and help each other in a timely manner. You'll also have an advantage in any fight as long as you exchange information on time. Continue the advance towards the enemy territory until the capture area is
아래쪽은 진짜
between
좀
you.
비슷해진 것 같다.
The
이제.
southern player should clear up the approaches, drive towards the point, and take it. Meanwhile, the other player should wait for them near the vertical road, the one that leads to the town center. Your next target is point B. One tanker should follow the vertical road to it, while the other one should follow the parallel road on the enemy side and turn right. With this maneuver, you should be able to deliver a back blow to enemy tanks in the center. Remember that in
근데
a
뭐
tight
맵은
urban
아무리 잘
environment,
만들어도
it's extra
똑같게 뭐
important to
대칭형으로
exchange
만들지
intel on
않으면
enemy machines
어쩔 수
and where
없는
they're
것
looking.
같아. 똑같아도 또
Once point B
어떤
is
장비를
yours,
타느냐에 따라
go to the
달라지니까.
familiar monument and church positions. You might also need to cap the beach point, like in scenario 1.
말도 안 되는 자리만 없으면은 뭐 어쩌든 뭐
Don't forget to
가능하거든요.
share your
허용
impressions of the updated
가능한
maps and new tactical ideas. Meanwhile, it's time for us to answer some of your questions. What's the earliest fire and forget
최초 발사호
missile
망강
AA
로켓 차량은
vehicle?
뭔가요? 나도 궁금했다 이거.
Hey, M-Man. The earliest fire and forget missiles are found at
2.3에서
9.3.
발견됩니다.
It's the American Chaparral, the Soviet Strela
Chaparral.
10M2, the Japanese
10M2.
Type 93,
이름 안
the
왔나?
Chinese PGZ-04A, the French
이름 안
Santal,
왔나?
and the Israeli Machbet. That's
마크베.
it for today. You've been watching The Shooting Range by Gaijin Entertainment.
아니 발사호 망강하는 장비가 저래 많았었나? 몰랐었네. 끝.